Very few people have achieved what John Lennon has during his lifetime. Having not only been a part of the biggest band of all time, and the best band ever, according to Google, suck my nuts, Queen fans, but also having had a very successful solo career and even dipping his feet in social activism during the Vietnam War era. His music, his integrity, his humor, his charisma on and off stage are all part of what makes him such a lovable and interesting character. He's a pretty neat guy, you know? He's so neat, in fact, that he's my favorite recording artist of all time. Look, I even have him on my wallpaper. Say hi, John.
Hello.
Which is why it would come as a surprise for me to say that beneath all of that success, John Lennon isn't as much of a goody two-shoes as you think he is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Lennon, a troubled genius. So John Lennon actually grew up on Menlove Avenue in Liverpool. He had a very fucked up childhood. His father wasn't around, as he had abandoned him at a very young age, and his mother Julia was, to put it simply, very unreliable. She had given John to her sister Mimi after having left her husband for another man. So John actually had to grow up in his aunt's house. The absence of his mother and his father during his young age is something that would haunt him up until his death. He would even sing about it on his first solo album, Plastic Ono Band, on the track Mother.
You had me, but I never had you.
Despite this, John did get to know his mother a little bit during his teenage years. But his relationship with her was described as being, how do I say this? Well, let's just say that Pete Shotton, who was one of his closest friends pre-Beatle days, he said that John had harbored, quote-unquote, ancestral feelings towards his mother. Although John's sister, as well as multiple other sources, would go on to speak out against this, it is still a subject of debate till this day. John didn't know his mother for too long, though, as she would tragically pass away when he was just 17. John actually sort of mimicked his parents' behavior during his adult life. He was a neglectful father to his first son, Julian, who was allegedly an unplanned child, having been conceived during the height of the Beatlemania era. This would, of course, push Paul McCartney to write Hey Jude, or Hey Jules, as it was originally named, to sort of comfort John's son after he basically abandoned him.
Hey Jude, don't make it.
On top of that, John was a cheater, just like his mother was. He cheated on his first wife, Cynthia, who was Julian's mother, in order to start a relationship with Japanese artist Yoko Ono, who would not only become his wife, but also a future collaborator on many of his future projects. Although he was never violent to Yoko, he would beat his first wife, Cynthia, which is something he would sing about on the Sgt. Pepper's track, Getting Better. Actually, at one point, he even beat his own childhood friend for having made jokes about the rumors that were circulating concerning John and Brian Epstein's relationship. And his heroin addiction in the late 60s didn't exactly help out, causing him to have more and more mood swings. All of this to say that John, in contrast to his hippie image, was actually a violent man, and he knew he was. He even talked about it in multiple interviews.
All that, I used to be cruel to my woman and beat her. That's me, because I used to be cruel to my woman and physically. Any woman. You know, I was a hitter. I couldn't express myself, and I fought men, I hit women, I was violent. That's why I'm always on about peace. You see, it's the most violent people that go for love and peace. And I sincerely believe in love and peace. But I am absolutely a violent man who has learned not to be violent.
John is the quintessential example for why celebrities, as charitable, important, and influential as they may be, aren't always people someone should look up to, especially when it comes to their personal lives. I don't believe John Lennon was a hypocrite. Far from it. I think he was a troubled soul that didn't know how to deal with his emotions and that made a lot of mistakes. Mistakes that he would try to make up for later in his life, whether it be for his music or his social activism. He has a quote, and I really think that it encompasses his whole character. He says, "We are all Christ and Hitler. Yoko and I want Christ to win."